Hiya, children. Come and get your lollipops. I've lots of lovely goodies for you.
Grab some Turkish Delight and Cherry Blossom Tea because we have the latest episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Unfortunately, no Zemo dancing. In this video, we'll be taking a deep dive into episode 4 titled The Whole World is Watching, analyzing its ending, Easter eggs, and hidden details. So make sure to smash that like and subscribe button because here we go. Well, at least this episode isn't starting with a commercial.
The Global Repatriation Council knows that for many, it wasn't that easy.
We're in Wakanda 6 years ago to be exact, with Io reciting the words used to trigger the Winter Soldier. We saw Io, the second in command of the Dora Milaje, at the end of episode 3. This is all part of a test to see if Bucky can free himself of his Winter Soldier programming, which it seems he's been able to overcome. Io refers to the programming removal like taking off rotten fur, an apt analogy since he's referred to as the White Wolf. He experiences flashbacks of his time as the Winter Soldier, including the assassination of Maria Stark, Tony Stark's mother. Notice the difference in cobblestones here, showing how Bucky and Io are on two different sides. Io wants revenge for Zemo's killing of King T'Chaka, which sparked the events of Civil War. She at least gives Bucky and Sam 8 hours before warning him that they'll be coming for Zemo. He gives her back her Komoyo beads, which if you haven't watched my episode 3 breakdown, I talk about their significance. Back at their safe house, which really isn't that safe since it seems everyone seems to pop up here at some point, Bucky explains the situation. They need to find Karli ASAP to track down the serum before the Wakandans come looking for Zemo. Notice here these stained glass windows covered in red, white, and blue stars, a nod to Captain America and also to the red star on the Winter Soldier's arm. Word has gotten out about Karli's attack on the GRC supply depot, which left 11 injured and 3 dead, while Zemo argues the philosophy of the Super Soldier Serum, stating anyone who wants it is a supremacist, and stating that Steve Rogers is the only super soldier who was never corrupted by the serum's power, and we'll see how that power corrupts our good friend John Walker later in the episode. At the GRC refugee camp, Zemo sings Ba Ba Black Sheep, which has a very dark origin. It's a reference to the 13th century wool tax in which farmers had to pay 2/3 of their earnings to the king and church. The original version had nothing left for the little shepherd boy who lives down the lane, just like these children have nothing. Bribing with Turkish Delight, the same treat the Witch in the Lion, the Witch in the Wardrobe used to bribe the young boy Edmund with, Zemo is able to find where Donya Madani's memorial will be held, she being the key to locating Karli Morgenthau. Of course, Zemo withholds this info for as long as he can from Sam and Bucky, fearing that as soon as he tells them he'll no longer be of use to them and have to be turned back to authorities. Sam enlists the help of Sharon Carter, who we met last episode. She just so happens to have some spare satellites around to track John Walker and Karli. Notice how she's walking down this street with tons of armed guards around her. These two clues, along with several others in my last video, hint that she is the power broker. Karli and NICO have stored 7 vials of Super Soldier Serum under the grave of NICO's grandfather, Lucas, who was a World War II resistance fighter. It's ironic that NICO talks about looking up to Captain America as a kid, and in this episode literally dies while looking up to him. NICO sees Karli as a new Captain America, one who understands the pain he and others like him have gone through, a hero who isn't afraid to get their hands dirty. In episode 1, Sam even says the world needs a new type of hero.
We need new heroes. One suited for the times we're in.
Karli concludes saying the shield should be destroyed, as it's a reminder of a bygone era. John and Lamar have tracked down Sam and Bucky, who are with the fugitive Zemo. They want to bring Zemo in, but he's the only one who knows where Donya's funeral is being held. Sam wants to go in alone, thinking that Karli, in this vulnerable state of losing a loved one, will be more willing to talk. And for the most part, he is right. At its core, Sam and Karli are fighting for the same thing. She even says,
"The people I'm fighting are trying to take your home, Sam."
A reference to the bank trying to take his and his sister's fishing boat. But the ways the two of them go about bringing justice are wildly different. Karli will do whatever it takes, even killing the innocent, while Sam won't stoop to that level. And just as Sam starts to earn Karli's trust, the new Cap has to stroll in and screw everything up. Zemo manages to escape from his handcuffs and also somehow acquire a gun which he'll later use to shoot Karli. This seems to be a common occurrence with him.
No!
Back in episode 2, we saw how Matias was shot in the stomach by Cap, but later is somehow healed. This seems to be the case with Carly in this episode, the serum having advanced regenerative qualities. In episode 3, we learn from Nagel, the creator of the serum, that 20 vials were made. Here at the cemetery, we see 7 of them, and here on the ground, we see 8. Plus, there were the vials Carly and her team took. This is all to say that when Zemo smashes the vials, the show hints that there is only one left, and that one Captain America will use on himself. However, the show playing fast and loose with these numbers, you never know when another one could be at play. Carly gets a text from the power broker. Funny, it's always a text and never a call. Whoever is on the other end is wanting his or her identity hidden. With the power broker, Sam and Bucky, and Cal and Lamar on her tail, she decides to separate them and pick off Captain America. With their 8 hours up, Io and 2 of her Dora Milaje, Nomble and Yama, come for Zemo. Cap and Lamar arrive and a fight ensues with Zemo making an El Chapo escape, a nod to how Mexican drug lord El Chapo Guzman escaped his prison via hidden passageway under his cell's washroom. Bucky is literally disarmed, something he didn't know could happen, which leads me to believe this might happen again in the future. Cap, however, gets the worst of it, getting his ass beaten so hard he says,
"Thank you, sir. May I have another?"
Oh, not that one.
They weren't even super soldier.
And this has all been part of how the writers have been building up his character so he'd get to the point where we'd believe he'd take this super soldier serum. This started all the way back in episode 2 when he talks about the pressure of being the new Cap and living up to expectations.
Everybody in the world expects me to be something, and I don't want to fail them.
In a one-on-one with his BFF, Cap asks Lamar if he had the chance, would he take the serum? Lamar responds by saying, think of the amount of lives they could have saved in Afghanistan if they had it. Between now and the time we see Cap bend a steel pipe, it's implied he has taken the serum, and we'll later see him tweaking out a possible side effect of this. Carly calls Sarah and basically threatens to kill her and her kids unless she sets up a meeting between her and Sam. There's also a deep conversation about how this new Captain America means nothing to her.
My world doesn't matter to America, so why should I care about its mascot?
Her world meaning that of a black woman in America. Falcon and the Winter Soldier hasn't shied away from politics. Episode 2 delved into Isaiah Bradley and its nod to the Tuskegee experiments. This is also yet another hint that Sam, her brother, will end up taking the shield. Sam meets up with Carly and to his surprise, she asks him to join her. They both want the same thing, they just have different ways of going about it. Sharon warns Sam that Cap has found them out and a fight ensues with Carly killing Lamar before making a run for it. This is the last straw for John, who tracks down NICO, one of the Flag Smashers, and kills him in cold blood. The title of this episode, The Whole World is Watching, has 2 meanings here. Not only is the whole world watching as the public records this violent act, but the phrase itself started as an anti-Vietnam War slogan and has since been picked up by movements like Black Lives Matter. The shield is literally covered in blood, a metaphor for Carly's view of it being a symbol of oppression. But as Sam stated in episode 1,
Symbols are nothing without the women and men that give them meaning.
this new Cap has made the shield a symbol of injustice, whereas the old Cap one of courage, justice, and hope. Spoilers for those who haven't seen the promotional material, but we see John here looking as though he's lamenting what has just happened, and we see Bucky and Sam back in Louisiana with the shield. It's not certain yet if this new Captain America is relieved of his duty and it goes to Sam, or if Sam forcibly takes it back from him after watching this murder. Whatever happens next, we'll just have to wait until next week to find out. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and share. For more bad takes, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember, Daddy loves you very much.